Hello, my friends. Welcome to our fun Friday where we talk about all kinds of great stuff that either you have requested or something that has been, that I've been working with myself or with my clients. And every Friday, I look forward to these talks together. They're quick talks, maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes, kind of just depending on what we're talking about. And today we're talking about something that I'm so incredibly passionate about, which is the art of building lean muscle and losing body fat. And there's so many reasons why we need to focus on this and why it shouldn't be so hard. Like, this should be something that I can give you to as a gift, and it could be something easy that you just focus on, like little tips every day to increase your strength. So when you increase your lean muscle mass in your body, you are creating a stronger metabolic system. So then when you're at rest, when you're just hanging out, you're burning more fat, you're more effective. And we don't always have to have this like battle of like, oh my gosh, how do I lose weight? This should be something that is natural for all of us, and our bodies will naturally be lean and mean as long as we just follow just a few simple guidelines for burning fat and gaining lean muscle. Okay, so let's dive in. So the first thing I'm going to go over 3 different topics today. So one is going to be the basics of probably what you've heard me say a million times, all of like, and I'll go through them, but intermittent fasting and sleeping and eating your vegetables and all of that. Then we're gonna dive in to actual working out. That's why I wanted to bring you here to the park by my house. So what it looks like to actually build muscle through your exercise and how to most effectively do that. And then third, I brought my little bag of goodies that I wanted to share with you guys, all like some of the vitamins and supplements that I take that help me build muscle. So that being said, don't start taking anything without checking with your physician. Make sure that your healthcare providers are in the know of anything that you're doing that's different or adding on. I think everybody agrees across the board that exercise is great, that sleep is important, and all of that, those type of things. But when you're talking about supplements and you're talking about adding something in, you have to really make sure, especially if you're on any kind of medication, that it's going to be okay for you. Okay, so we've got tons of stuff. Let's go ahead and dive in. So the first thing I want to talk about, which is just the basics. So if you have a pen, go grab a pen, go grab a piece of paper, write down the notes. A lot of these things are going to be like, oh, I already know that. But what I want you to say to yourself when your mind says, I already know that, I tried that, it doesn't work for me, I want you to say, now wait a minute, that's a limiting thought. Have I really tried this 100%? Have I tried it now with a new attitude? So don't let your mind naturally say, oh, that just works for Nikki because this is what she does for a living. You guys, it's not true. This works for every single one of us. So the first thing is, since we're already talking about mindset, is what I want to talk about mindset is and this has been something like that Ifat and myself have been doing like little lessons on, and Steph and Coach Steph, everybody, I've been talking so much about 2 mentors of mine that helped me with my life, is the idea that what is perceived to be hard right now is actually a zillion times easier than what is hard later. So I'm going to talk to you about intermittent fasting, about sleeping, about exercising every single day. And a lot of us, which is a totally normal human thing, me included, is a lot of us say like, I just can't get the motivation. My cravings for sugar are too much. I try to work out every day, but then life takes me takes my feet out from under me. But what I want us to think about right now, and I want you to write this down because it's so important, you guys, is that motivation to bust through that quick hard. So yes, it's hard to show up to your workout, but it only takes 1, 2, 3, go. Like right now, everybody stand up, okay? 1, 2, 3, jump, okay? With me, come on, stand up. 1, 2, 3, jump. So that's all you need to bust through a craving, to bust through that lack of motivation. But if you choose to do what's easy day in and day out, like not working out, falling into cravings, drinking too much, your life is so much harder than it needs to be. So I'm telling you, that little teeny bit, let's flip what's hard and what's easy. Okay, let's flip that, because I'm telling you, if we're not working out, and I felt it too, if we're not working out, if we're not eating mindfully, if we're not getting outside in nature, if we are not making time for good friends, our life is hard, super hard. If you have excess fat on your body and not lean muscle, everything is harder for you. It's like carrying a 50-pound weight vest with everywhere you go. And also, like, your metabolic system is off. So your hormones are fighting against you. All of these things make life this much harder, when all I want you to do is, anytime you're not feeling motivation, I want you to just do 3, 2, 1, go. Just dive in like you're gonna dive into a freezing cold lake, but you just do it fast. Okay, so first thing is, do what's hard now, because then later your life gets so much easier. Okay, so now let's talk about what could be perceived as hard at first, but makes your life better in the long term. So if we want to lose fat, if we want to gain lean muscle, these are just simple things that we've talked about a lot. So intermittent fasting is taking breaks between meals. So and you guys have heard this. If not, go to prior episodes and watch it, or Google what intermittent fasting is, because we have a lot to go over today. But taking a big break, and we've talked about this, I feel like my whole entire life with you and with Kaya, is stop eating 3 hours before you go to bed. Is it hard? Yes. But is it harder to have a bunch of weight on your body? It's harder. So set your alarm, whether you use the Zero app, whatever that is, set your alarm to be done eating 3 hours before you go to bed. Take a 12-hour break, 14-hour break, or a 16-hour break at night before you have any calories. So what happens is, when I work with you guys, I work with thousands and thousands of clients. We do like a 30-day challenge, or the end of brick, what we're in right now. So then what we do is we come in to the end, and if they've chosen to get on the scale and measurements, and I can see that the scale, they've lost weight. But then I go to measure their visceral fat, their waist, and they've lost no weight in their visceral fat. Their visceral fat hasn't come down. So 9 times out of 10, the answer is yes, I did intermittent fasting. No, I didn't eat enough vegetables. I didn't eat my vegetables first. If you want to lose fat around your organs, if you want to lose visceral fat, you have to eat vegetables. And that is just is what it is. And if you don't like them, it doesn't always have to be a party in your mouth. You can make them yummy. You can put seasoning on them, and I promise you will fall in love with them. But you've got to do what's hard first and eat your veggies first. Even if you're craving gluten-free crackers and hummus, put the brakes on. Okay, what do we say? 3, 2, 1. Eat your veggies first. Okay, so that's, if you want to lose fat, eat your veggies first. If you want to lose weight, try intermittent fasting. Now, again, you have to check with your physician. This is just what works for me and what's worked for thousands of my clients. Manage your stress. That's all we talk about, right? You and I, every day when we meditate together at 8 a.m., manage your stress. If your cortisol levels are high, you are going to be having an uphill battle with weight loss. So meditate, get outside, have great friends, listen to positive things, cut the news, all of those things, manage your stress. If you are in brick, my next thing that I'm talking about is gut health. So Aoife and I did a lesson for you in your My Coach app. If you want access to the My Coach app, you can always DM me and I'd get you into any program that we have. But gut health is really, really important if you're going to lose weight and gain muscle. Avoid alcohol. I know you guys are like, she says that every day and I don't like it. It's not my favorite thing either. But if we're gonna lose fat, and especially because alcohol turns into sugar into our body. So if you have stubborn weight around your waist and you're like, why am I not losing fat? I work out every day. It's probably because all of these little things. Either you're not sleeping enough, 7 to 8 hours, turn the Netflix off early, this new like quarantine life that we're in, all of a sudden I like watch Netflix at night, and I've never done that in my life because I usually get up so early. And now I have to do what's hard and not watch another episode so I can turn off all the blue light and find a chill time before I go to bed, read a boring book and fall asleep peacefully. So I'm right there with you guys. I have to do what's hard too. Okay, so then from there, if you didn't watch last week's episode, I think it's important, if you want to go back, I invited you into my kitchen and we talked about tonics. For me, if I'm going to like keep a healthy weight, lose fat, and gain muscle, a lot of that has to do with my hydration and drinking enough water throughout the day. But I like to make it really fun. So I talked about these tonics like last week, so I won't go too much in them, but every day, and I'll go over like the green tea, but every day I drink, this is apple cider vinegar, cinnamon, and goji berries. Can you see it? So goji berries, and I make just fun tonics that help me stay out of the pantry, that help me like give me little boosts for my metabolism and are fun to drink. So find some tonics that give you hydration. 65% of your body is water. And I know you hear it all the time, like drink your water, drink half your body weight in ounces of water. But I like to make my water fun. So my tonics are my morning smoothies, are my green teas, are my little apple cider vinegar, my lemon and cayenne. All of those are fun ways to lose weight. Okay, so yikes, I always have so much to say to you guys. I get so excited when you're here. So when we're thinking about the actual like metabolic function of our body, and the food that we put in our mouth either helps us gain lean muscle, energy and vitality and happiness, or it slowly kills us and it makes us lethargic, food hungover, gaining weight around our intestines. And 1 in 2 of us die of heart disease. And it's sad for me to think that with this coronavirus that people are in quarantine, so maybe our stress levels higher, all of that kind of thing, and then we're eating the foods, processed foods that kill us. And a lot of us are fearful of like getting the coronavirus or possibly dying, but then we make these choices that are, again, easy temporarily, really hard later, that are causing us to have heart attacks, cancer, and illness. And it breaks my heart. It literally makes me cry. And I want this to be easy for you. I want this to be easy for me. And so I set myself up for success as much as I possibly can. So when you're thinking about the food that you put into your mouth, is it alive? Does it have energy? Is it going to help your metabolic function? So when you're thinking about your macronutrients and your micronutrients are carbohydrates, fat, and protein. So your carbohydrates are like your oats, your sweet potatoes, lots of veggies, have great carbohydrates, carrots, all of that. That gives you energy. So say we're gonna go work out. So carbohydrates are giving us energy. We're like, woo! And then our fats actually help with our hormonal balance. And I'm making this very simple because carbohydrates, there's a zillion things they do awesome. They do great things for you. Then fat, there's healthy fats. There's a zillion things it does really good for you. But healthy fats help your hair and your skin and your metabolism and all of these the things that really like help the inside of your body to gain muscle and lose fat. So when you eat fat, you're not going to gain fat unless you're eating processed fat. So we want to cut out like the processed oils. We want to cut out like all of the processed fats, but we want to eat really good fats. Avocado, nuts, seeds. There's so many great fats that are so good for you. And then protein. So protein is important, and I think you guys know, but I'm plant-based, and so for me, I have to be really careful not to get too much protein because I love protein, just probably, you know, like you guys, and so a lot of times, like complement protein is like one of my favorite proteins, but protein is building blocks for your muscle. But if you get too much protein, then it stores as fat. So you want to be careful not to get too much protein because it's hard on your kidneys, it's hard to process for your liver, and then it's stored. So I think it's really important to track your food. So my accountability partner for this brick is EFAT, and it's been interesting because I don't typically track my food because I don't even think about calories or things like that. I just think about eating a lot of food because I love food. And so now that I've been tracking it, I realize like when I add protein into my smoothies, I have to be careful kind of the rest of the day not to have too much protein because I end up with like 100 grams, which is too much for me. So when you're thinking about your protein is the building block of muscle. Okay, fat helps your hormones and your metabolic system, and then carbohydrates, the complex carbohydrates, give you energy. Okay, so oh my goodness, we have so much to go over. I'm gonna kind of speed up here. So I want to go into just quickly how to gain muscle through exercise. So when you're thinking about exercise, I want you to think about you are an athlete. So everybody write this down. You are an athlete and your sport is life. It doesn't even matter if like you're like, you know, Jamie Anderson, which is like our favorite next Olympian athlete, or if you're a grandmother or a mother of 2 or 4, like all of us are athletes and our job is to be really good at life. We want to wake up with energy, we want to go to sleep with energy, but when you go into your exercise, don't think of it as exercise. Think of it as athletic training. You're a trainer. And if I go into a class and I'm just going to an exercise class and I'm thinking about like having tea with you, or I'm like, this is so hard. When is this going to be over? Or what's my list of things to do? How do you think my focus is going to be on building muscle? Not great. I'm not going to be that into it. But if I go into my exercise class as you're going to like gain muscle, and every movement, you're like, what's the purpose of this? So ask yourself, like, how can I get the most out of this movement? And what's so exciting is this can be like meditation because you're teaching yourself to stay here and now. Yes, your mind's going to go to like, do I really have to do this for a minute? Then you're going to bring it back. Nope. You're going to do one. You're going to do one, and you're going to move your body the best you possibly can. And that's why having a coach, and I'm honored to be your coach, all of us, we have, locations all over the United States. We actually have so many live Zoom classes. So I want to be your coach. Come in. We've got so many great coaches out there for you, but find a coach because it is important that you're moving your body right. If you get hurt, you're not going to stay. So when you're thinking about I hope you guys can see me on the ground. So say if I'm doing a push-up. So everybody go ahead and stand up if that's an option for you. So stand up. Now, squeeze your bottom, squeeze your belly. So just all it is pull your belly button in into your spine by activating your core muscles. Roll your shoulders down and back. Now slide your shoulder blades together. Okay, so you're activating. So bring those arms up, elbows out. Now bring them down. Activate the scapula muscles here, the shoulder muscles, your thoracic region of your back. Now push into your fingers. So you don't even have to be on the ground. Push into your fingers. So it's like you're opening up like a little spaghetti can. So push into your fingers so there's never any pressure in your wrist. That's how you're gonna avoid wrist injuries. And then you're gonna exhale and pretend to push yourself. Make your arm shake. Look at, I can make my arm shake. Press, 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 press the ground away. Hold, squeeze your belly, squeeze your butt again. Ignite the backs of your legs. Roll your shoulders down to engage that back. And then slowly lower. Now, if I am that uber focused on everything I do when I have the opportunity to exercise, I am going to gain lean muscle and burn fat. So if on the flip side of that, I'm doing a push-up, I'm not paying attention to my body, I have a sway in my back, I'm just kind of doing this, like my butt's up in the sky or my butt's down, I can possibly get hurt. I'm thinking about, oh my God, really? Do I have to do this for 1 minute? Oh, this sucks so bad. You're working against yourself. So you need to know that your body is meant to be optimal. You need to know that you're an athlete and every movement you do in life is like food. It's either giving you strong muscles and powerful mind, or it's taking it away from you. So when you go into your exercise class, I want you to hit it with a fuego, fire. Get fired up. And every time, whether you have a coach or not, when you go into a squat, like big compound movements build muscles. So I don't use a lot of weight. If anything, I have like 5-pound weights, or possibly like the most is like 10-pound weights. Sometimes I'll do like kettlebell swings, but most of the time I have my body weight. Well, my body is heavy, right? Like my body is the perfect vehicle for me to gain lean muscle. So when I'm doing a push-up, or maybe I'm hanging on a bar and I'm doing like a jumping pull-up or pull-ups, you can do it in a park. If I'm doing like sit-ups or crunches, I'm using my body weight. And if I'm using, and another thing is like negatives, so it's going slow. So your concentric and eccentric muscles. So when you're pulling in, slow and controlled, and then pushing out. So concentric and eccentric. So we're focusing on both parts of the contraction of the muscle, breathing into it and say, okay, I'm building the front of my arm. I'm building my bicep. So everything should be, and everything should not be always slow and controlled, but it should be mindful. So every movement that you make should be mindful. So you know that you're not going to hurt your body because you're paying attention to how your body is moving. So a lot of like the bigger compound movements like squats and deadlifts, and maybe I'll do like a one all on like all the different movements because we don't have time to like go through them, but squat and deadlifts are great. Multi-directional movement, that's how we move in life, right? We go side to side, we come down and up, we move all over. So that's the way your exercise should be. So when we're designing the workouts for you at Kaya, we design them to be multi-directional because that's what we need to strengthen your stability muscles so that support the big guys. So if you have super strong quads and super strong hamstrings, but you have lazy glutes or lazy transverse abdominal muscles, then you're going to end up getting like a hip injury or a knee injury. So when you're thinking about how to gain muscle, think about those like multi-directional movements are really important. Like bar class is great for those stability muscles to gain the strength in the muscles that maybe are kind of left behind. So we've got bossy muscles. So like our traps, these ladies are super bossy. They're always like, where you want your deltoids, your shoulders So you have to say, hey girls, we're not going to focus on the bossy muscles. We're going to focus on the muscles that are supporting and all of our beautiful muscles in our body. Okay, so I only have 5 more minutes with you guys. HIIT training is super important. So high intensity interval training. So if you think about like when you're doing classes with us, we're like ready, set, go. 20 seconds as hard as you can. So if you can, everybody do some squats with me. Ready, set, go. So knees out, butt back, drop down, 3, 2, 1. Rest it out for 10 seconds, go again. So like that's a Tabata. So any kind of like interval training is bringing all of that energy and all of that blood flow into the muscles, and then it's giving you a break, and then you hit it hard. And so that's a great way to lose fat and gain muscle. And breathe. Everybody's like at the end of a kayak class, like everybody's like, giving virtual hugs and like, oh my gosh, I feel so amazing. Why do you feel so amazing? Because you're breathing. So take a nice deep breath. And that's why we always say like exhale with exertion in your workouts. So if I'm doing a push-up, and just remember, exhale with the hard part. So exhale with exertion. So I'm exhaling fully and then inhaling to slow my movement. Exhale fully, inhale to slow my movement. So when you're actually breathing deep into your lungs, one, you're creating more like capillaries and beautiful function of the lungs, which is so important, right? For our immune system, for everything. But then you're also bringing more blood flow to the whole body, and then you're making it easier for your body to gain that muscle. Okay, so I'm going to leave you guys. I'm just going to rattle off some of the vitamins that I think are important to either get into your food or possibly supplement. Again, this is the part that you have to check with your physician on. Okay, so I'll bring my little bag of goodies up, and I do believe in taking a really good multivitamin. We do get a discount. I think if you go to this page, my coach Nikki Warren, it's pinned to the top, and Complement is one of my favorites because, one, I trust them. I know them personally. I know what they go through to make sure that there's not like chemicals in the actual capsules. But the things that are in here that I think are important that I want you to think about are vitamin D. So vitamin D creates energy in your body. It also is a crucial way to help you increase your immune system. So vitamin D, a lot of times we think that we can get enough from the sun, but we hide from the sun these days and we put a lot of sunblock on. So vitamin D is really important. Vitamin B, like having a vitamin B complex, I've talked to you guys about this a million times, but like so important, especially if we're thinking about like helping our metabolism function really well. So if you take a good like multivitamin B, or if there's a good B's in your multivitamin. It's also vitamin B is associated with like schizophrenia. So when people are low in vitamin B, sometimes that can, like, schizophrenia is one of the things that they've shown to be one of the leading cause and factors. Okay, so iron, and I forgot to bring down my iron. I only take, like, it's called Liquid Force, and it's just a plant-based iron. It doesn't cause like constipation or anything like that, but iron is what helps our body build muscle, and it burns fat. So making sure, like, okay, so going back, vitamin D, sunshine, okay, possibly supplement. Vitamin B, you can get it in like beans, lentils, whole grains, but I do suggest, whether you're plant-based or not, taking a supplement. Iron, pumpkin seeds, paired with cuties, so many greens, all the greens really help with iron, but anemia is something that we want to look at. Beans are a good source of iron. Magnesium is important for energy production. So magnesium you can get by like swimming in a river or in the ocean. You can also get it through like nuts, seeds, legumes, leafy greens, and magnesium really helps regulate your blood pressure. It helps regulate your blood sugar. So a lot of times we're gaining weight because we have blood sugar issues and our glucose levels are off. And then green tea. So green tea, I do love cordyceps too, mushrooms for increased energy, and these are for energy, stamina, and endurance. So those are those. And then green tea, I drink it every single day. I put it in a big thermos and put about like 3 tea bags in, right around like noonish. I'm like, green tea time. So I drink my green tea, and like I said, I love apple cider vinegar. I put it in my little drink. And vitamin D. Okay, that's it, guys. So I hope this was helpful. I know I rattle off a lot of things to you. I hope it's not confusing. You can always reach out to me with any questions. I'm here for you. Happy Friday. I'm off. We do the food drive today. So if you know anybody in South Lake Tahoe that needs food, they can always pick up food at Bijou from 11 to noon. If you want to drop off grocery bags, you can drop them off. It's just food to feed families for the weekend. You can drop them off at my house anytime, or you can drop them off at Bijou from 10 to 11 every Friday. Okay, I love you guys. Mwah. Good to see each and every one of you. Happy weekend. Get out there, do something awesome.